Do not be deceived. There is no one in this movie named Stone. This is episode 44 of the Elbow Nudge podcast.
There is someone in this movie named Joan.
Yeah, you like my title, huh?
I do. I really do.
You see where I'm coming from with this?
Everybody, just for the record, he named the file of this podcast Romancing the Joan.
And what are we watching today? Wait, we're not watching anything. And what are we talking about today?
We're watching.
Gotcha.
I'm upset.
What? We're talking Whiplash, ladies and gentlemen.
We're talking about Romancing the Stone.
Oh, okay.
The 1984 action-adventure flick by Robert Zemeckis, composed by Alan Silvestri. It is I told you this, one of my top 15. I have it, don't ask me what number, but definitely one of my top films as a favorite. And I'm so glad because I had mentioned this movie to you, I cannot remember how many weeks ago, but I've been mentioning this movie just on the up and up. Just like, hey, one day I want to watch Romancing the Stone. One day, like 1 week, I want to talk about Romancing the Stone. And we're finally here. This is like a pretty big event for me.
And why are we here?
Because the wheel decided.
Exactly right.
We put a bunch of movies in a wheel. We spun it, landed on Romancing the Stone.
You know what I was thinking, though? I don't think I put enough stuff that I wanted on that wheel.
I was thinking that, too, and kind of thankful for that.
The first time, I don't even know why you spun it before I even put anything in there.
I thought we were done. I didn't know if you wanted to put anything in there.
We were done as soon as you ran out of your ideas for movies.
Oh, you put it like that. I feel so bad.
I'm not going to say what we wrote, but obviously one of them is a joke.
We could do more. We could spin the wheel again.
I know, but then you're going to add more stuff that you want.
No. We'll leave what was just left in there, and then we'll add your stuff.
I'm happy with the results.
I'm pretty happy with the results. I mean, come on. You have to give and take a little bit.
We spun the wheel 4 times.
We did?
This is the next 4 weeks of Elbow Nudge.
Are we going to say the names or not? Okay.
Nope.
I figured. But today
I want to let the listeners know
that we do have the next 3 weeks planned.
Is lined up already. Yes. Is in the works.
Cool. But today we're talking about Romancing the Stone. And Tony, I want to ask you, what did you think?
I gotta say, I expected more. I expected more, Caroline.
You hurt me. Was it good? Did you think it was good at least?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I'll give it like a solid 6.
You know what? I'll take that.
Yeah, and I don't like to give ratings usually.
But you did this time.
But I'll say okay. But I did this time. I was looking up because, I was, doing a little bit of a reviewing after we saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the trailer. Mm-hmm. And I went to the comments. First of all, the trailer has like 1 million views. I'm like, dang. And then I saw the comments.
They're all by me.
And there's people saying like, this is my favorite movie of all time.
You found my alt account?
This is one of the greatest adventure movies, right up there with Indiana Jones. I'm like, oh, people are seeing it a way that I'm not.
It's great.
I thought it never reached the high highs that I wanted.
Really?
Yeah. I felt like it was a very tame movie for me.
Wow.
Especially in the romance department. And this movie has romancing in the title.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Jack and Joan?
I like them. I like that it's just kind of this whirlwind romance of like these 2 people that have to go on this journey together now, and he has to protect her, and then they wind up, falling in love, and it ends up working. I don't know. I feel like in a weird way, it's a kind of a real romance. They don't have a lot in common. They don't even come from like the same kind of world. She's this upstate New York author of romance novels, an introvert, and he's this guy that's living in Colombia.
A man of the jungle. He's trying to he's always trying to do get rich quick schemes, and it's just so 2 different people that if they were passing each other on the street, probably never would have noticed each other or anything. But this adventure causes their lives to converge, and they ended up falling in love on this journey, this adventure. I think that it's not anything in common, or it's not love at first sight. They actually get on each other's nerves, but they have that intangible things. They have that pull, and it just works. It really works for me. They're very quippy too. The writing of this movie is so quippy and fun and kind of silly that it works with that romance.
I feel like I never saw a love blossoming throughout the movie. I feel like they're just like, we're together. Why not? It could have been anyone, I felt like. If anyone else was around within proximity to help out Joan, it's like, all right, you're the guy I'm falling for now. But am I wrong? Am I blinded?
Yeah,
to
I
love?
think you are. I think you are.
What are the moments I felt like, oh, something's happening, the sparks are flying, because I didn't see it?
When they're in the plane,
Well, I know one moment actually when they did the mudslide, and then
no.
Jack was definitely all about
We'll move on from that.
He's like, oh yeah, what a good morning.
Oh my god, you blew out my headphones.
He's like, whoa, are you hurt?
You talk at this range the whole podcast, but you decide to come this close to the mic when you go, oh yeah. Thanks.
To like remind you of the scene.
That didn't happen in the scene. He wasn't doing that.
Yeah, he was.
That woo!
He was more over exaggerated than I was.
But they definitely had sparks. There were times where, like in the airplane, where they were talking, when what was the word? When they're dancing, whenever they're talking about like him on his boat.
Stiff dancing.
Hey, listen here.
We just saw.
I didn't know that I was talking to Tony the hater. What did you drink your haterade today? What's going on here? You need to get a Pups Up. You need to get a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry.
Caroline, actually, I'm fine. We just saw Danny and Sandy.
No. We are not comparing movies. These are two different movies.
I'm saying we saw very good dancing, and then we saw this.
Listen, we're not dancing with the stars.
We're romancing the stone. And I saw no romancing. I saw no stones either. I saw a gem.
It is a gem is a stone, right?
Sure.
So, also, it's a double meaning. It's also when the term romancing the stone is a process when you're getting a gem ready for jewelry. So,
okay.
And then it's supposed to be kind of a play on that, how like they're recovering this diamond, and also how I think it just comes from that line that Danny DeVito says in the movie, where he goes, "At least I'm honest. I'm trying to steal the stone from her in front of her, not trying to romance the stone out from under her."
Yeah, that's the line I was waiting for the whole movie.
And there it was.
Yeah, because I was confused. I was waiting. All right, where's Mr. Stone? Who's gonna romance him? Or where's Mrs. Stone?
Miss Stone. Why does it have to be Mrs. Stone? I mean, she's married.
I don't know the difference. Miss Stone. Joan Stone Wilder.
She's Juanita Wilder. Juanita.
And maybe I didn't miss a few details because of my condition during the viewing.
Mm-hmm. You know what? We're going to hop off this haterade train. I love this movie, everybody. I think this movie is a 10 out of 10.
I'm not hating it. I'm saying my opinion is wrong, but I want to be convinced. I saw a lot of people talking it up in the comments a lot. I'm like, oh, interesting. I want to see it like that too.
About this movie is just a fun adventure. You don't have to think about it too hard. You could just relax, sit back, enjoy Silvestri playing this weird Colombian jazz mix. It sounds amazing. It's that bum 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 bum. I love the theme song, and it's got that Robert Zemeckis charm before it was really that Robert Zemeckis charm. I did kind of want to tell you a little story about like the production, the kind of the happenings before this movie was made. So this is Zemeckis' third film that he directed. The first two were I Want to Hold Your Hand in 1978 and Used Cars in 1980. Now, these two movies were received well by critics, but the audience didn't like them. They were commercial failures. They like bombed at the box office. And Robert Zemeckis was going around pitching one more movie. He was going around with the screenplay of one more movie he wanted to make. But because of these two commercial failures, nobody would hire him as director. He even went and he wrote the screenplay for a Spielberg movie called 1941, but that movie bombed as well. They even he wrote it with the last name is Gale. I don't have the first name. I forgot to write that down. But the screenplay was criticized, and Zemeckis' screenplays were criticized for saying that the scripts that everyone thought were great, but they somehow didn't translate well into movies that people wanted to see. So because of that, he kind of got just this bad reputation overall in Hollywood for not making hits. Meanwhile, a waitress writes a screenplay. Her name is Diane Thomas, and it's Romancing the Stone. And she sells it basically to Michael Douglas. And Michael Douglas sees this and he's like, oh, this looks like so much fun. And he's producing this movie, shopping around for a director. But nobody's willing to take it because they think it's going to suck. They think it's not going to do well. Robert Zemeckis.
And Robert's like, I'm familiar with movies that suck. Hand it over.
It was a redemption story for the both of them because Michael Douglas really wanted this movie to be made. Zemeckis just really wanted another shot at directing a film. So the two teamed up. Alan Silvestri was hired to do the temporary score for the film. They had another composer lined up to do the full movie. But when Zemeckis heard his theme song, that kind of saxophone we hear around the movie, he loved it so much he wanted Silvestri to do the whole movie. And that began their partnership for how they always do. They always work together in their films. So the movie was, starting to get made. There were some problems on set. What's her name? Kathleen Turner as Joan Wilder. She had arguments with Zemeckis kind of frequently while filming. She said that, while they would film, I'm trying to find it. She would tell him that, she wasn't used to working on movies the way he was used to shooting movies. And she said, she thought he had little experience. She's like, here's this dude fresh out of film grad school. He's fascinated by cameras and he wants you to do these ridiculous postures. And I would say, this is not the way I work. But despite all of those issues, when the movie did come out, she kind of saw, oh, this is what he was trying to do. And this looks good. And so she ended up kind of going back on that and saying he actually, I should have trusted him more as a director. But focus groups and interest groups for early screenings of the film did not like this movie. They thought, oh, this is not that great. This is
where I come in.
This is Tony. You were part of that interest group, that focus
Let me
group.
tell you why. No, keep going.
So the movie, that buzz, that negative buzz that created oh, this movie's going to flop. This movie is not going to do well. So Robert Zemeckis was lined up to direct another movie after Romancing the Stone called Cocoon. And because of the buzz around this negative buzz around the film, he got fired from Cocoon. So this was really his Hail Mary. He had no jobs lined up. Nobody wanted to work with him.
It was probably a blessing in disguise because wasn't his next film Back to the Future?
You're getting ahead of me there, mister. Okay. So the movie comes out and it's a sleeper hit. It ends up with a budget of $10 million. It made $115 million. It was received well. I think it has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, but Roger Ebert, Siskel and Ebert, they love it. They're giving it great reviews. Everybody's going to see it. And Michael Douglas earned his money back. This gave Zemeckis the clout. He went back to, I think it's Warner Brothers, and pitched them his film that he had been shopping around for a while. And they said, okay, you did well with Romancing the Stone. We'll give you a blank check to do whatever movie you want to do. And that movie was Back to the Future.
That's where he peaked.
I mean, they're both good. We don't have to take down Romancing the Stone.
I'm not taking it down. I'm here to understand. That's what today's episode is about. All right. The music, easily the best part of this movie. Very interesting themes, and I've never heard some of the things like in any kind of movie. What was that theme that played near the end when Joan almost acted out her book fantasy of like nailing the guy right in the heart? Oh, I threw my pen. Nailing the guy right in the heart.
You're nailing the wall with your pen.
I was reenacting it.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't recreate it.
Yeah, I don't think you could really hum it, but it's a very unique sound, and it wasn't the only one in the movie. It's just a lot of very, I don't even know what it is, music. I don't know what it was. It just sounded really good.
Even the fight scene between Joan and Zolo, and you hear that,
Yeah,
and it's just that.
What was that?
I don't know what that was. It almost sounded like, you know, when a cha-cha dancer has those little click click clicks.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like multiple those, but just or clapping or something like that in the background.
Alan was very experimental with this
Yeah,
movie,
but
and
it
it paid off.
works. It
paid off.
works.
And I don't think he, from the movies I've seen, I don't think he ever went back to that kind of style, because now it's very epic, memorable music, but not like this. This is different.
The way you phrase that almost sounded like a backhanded compliment.
Now he's so much better,
It's
and
like
it's just
the
amazing,
music he does now is
memorable,
like epic and amazing.
nostalgic,
It's
and
nothing like this
at all. So we're on the same page. You understand?
No, not at all.
So you know what I mean?
No,
No?
not at all. This is amazing. This is epic. It's
Okay.
different. I love it. I love that it's got that Colombian mix, but he's also not afraid to just kind of make it. This movie, a lot of critics called it the silly Indiana Jones with romance, and I kind of agree, but it's just I never think of Indiana Jones when I watch this movie.
I didn't think about it either. This was not, even when people were saying like this is my favorite adventure movie, I didn't even think of it as an adventure movie.
I mean, what does she go on, Tony?
She goes on a romance expedition.
Expedition can be synonymous for an
hiking
adventure?
trail, romance hiking trail.
Oh, wow. A hiking trail synonymous with an adventure.
Passing time.
You're skirting around this, Tony. Come on, admit it.
What?
Admit it. It's an adventure.
It's more like a mini fun time out.
Oh
in
my
Colombia.
gosh. Oh my gosh. What'd you think about Danny DeVito in this movie?
We needed more Danny DeVito in this movie.
I love Danny DeVito in
Not
this
enough
movie.
Danny DeVito.
I think he's so funny.
He was very good.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
His expressions, the way he pronounced everything, his lines, so good.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have more of him, but I don't know what caliber of actor he was at this time and what kind of popularity he had. But I think now they would have put him in like 70% of the movie.
Oh, well, before I get to that, he does have my favorite line in the movie, and it's early on where his cousin Ira's on the phone and he's like, "Oh, look at them snappers." And Ralph goes, "Someone's going to get killed and you're farting around with prehistoric animals." That's my favorite line. Use that around the house. It's like, I'm over here cooking and you're over there farting around.
With that whoopee cushion?
With the whoopee?
When did you see this movie the first time?
Oh, I was young. I want to say 12, 13.
I feel like that's a factor for me.
That you didn't see this when you were young?
Yeah, I think
you're missing the nostalgia.
Is it a bit of nostalgia for you too?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. My family also loves this movie, not just my parents, but like my extended family. Somebody could make a Romancing the Stone reference and the whole table is like, "Oh, like we all love it. We all love this movie." And yeah, just I grew up liking it. And it's a classic. Even when I mentioned to my family that I was doing this movie this week, they all rewatched it.
Young Michael Douglas.
Young Michael Douglas.
A first for me.
Oh yeah,
I've never seen young Michael Douglas outside of Ant-Man, DH, CGI.
He's done so many films. My goodness.
Yeah.
I've seen an array of Michael Douglas. I've seen a lot of his stuff. But back on that Danny DeVito real quick. So this movie does have a sequel. It's called Jewel of the Nile. And this is
Oh,
just
how
kind
did
of,
that do?
you know, it's not bad. But you know what though? It's really interesting. And I really want to give the credit of why this movie is so good to me. I really think it has to do with Robert Zemeckis and the charm that he brings to movies, the way he shoots things, the way he just has a knack for making a really plain plot, or even like just Back to the Future, just kind of like a, it's not a standard movie plot. These are just kind of wacky or out there. Or Romancing the Stone is even just kind of like a, I don't know. I feel like he can do both ends. He could do this really wacky plot, but he could also do this kind of mundane, maybe like a tropey romance novelty plot. But he makes it so fun. He makes it so fun to go through and enjoy. And like, I could watch this movie multiple times and I would not complain about it. And I really think that that just has to do with him and how he frames his films. So Jewel of the Nile does not bring back Zemeckis or Silvestri. It's a Michael Douglas produced film. I think Michael Douglas believed that the success of this movie was attributed more to like him and Kathleen Turner and like their chemistry and their, just kind of thing, their characters, because Jewel of the Nile did not do as well as Romancing the Stone. And in fact, it's an okay movie. It's not bad, but it did it didn't spark joy in me.
Ah,
Mhm.
interesting.
And I didn't have the same affection for the characters and for the movie and for the journey that they were going on the same way that I did for this film. It's got a good song in it because they got like a popular artist to do the ending song, and I like that song, but it doesn't compare to like this music and this experiment that Silvestri brought to the movie.
Did you say who directed it? I think I missed it.
No, I didn't. Let
No,
me
do
pull
you
it
know
up.
who directed it?
Not offhand. I can look it up right here.
Okay.
Louis Teague. What did he do? He did Cujo in the 80s. He did Cujo. This guy has done like horror movies. Alligator in the 80s, Cat's Eye, 85, Cujo, 83, and then Jewel of the Nile. Very interesting.
Okay.
The Lady in Red.
I guess you can't really blame Michael Douglas for thinking people want to come back and see the main actors again, and it doesn't really matter who the director is. But this proved otherwise. That it really was a lot that Robert Zemeckis brought to this movie. I noticed some things, whereas like I noticed some shots that look like his style.
Zemeckis.
Yeah, but I think he found his footing, with Back to the Future and moving forward. I feel like he was learning it there.
I feel like he was unrestrained in Back to the Future. That's his movie. He calls the shots. Whereas in Romancing the Stone, you could argue that Michael Douglas is the producer, so he's kind of the boss and gets really final say. And
Mm.
in Back to the Future, that's Zemeckis. That's him. That's his work.
Yeah, but I did notice. His style coming through. Alan, like I said, he was doing
Amazing.
something special. Yeah,
The best. The music in this movie is phenomenal. One of my top scores for a film, Romancing the Stone.
top 15 scores
Number 15
of all time.
Romancing the Stone by Alan Silvestri.
There's your answer right there.
No, this is not number 15. This is probably like number 11 or 12.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just definitely in the top of my favorite films.
So, Caroline, you said it yourself earlier. You said he took a somewhat mundane story and made it special.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I felt that. I felt like it wasn't much to it. It was just going with the motions kind of movie for me.
I can't relate.
This is a problem.
This is a problem. I can't relate. I'm sorry. We're here to have a conversation, but I'm obstinate.
I don't know. Maybe I had to see it when it came out.
Maybe you had to see it when you were a youngin'.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that plays a part, right?
You know, it might. It might. But I do think that you could have somebody go in blindly and enjoy it.
Michael Douglas fans.
Michael Douglas fans.
I think he's a cool guy.
Zemeckis fans.
Yeah, Zemeckis fans. Silvestri fans.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Kathleen Turner, I was looking up, she's the voice of Jessica Rabbit. That's another Zemeckis film.
Look at that.
She came back.
I actually like when directors do that.
Yeah, like have a...
They have like their favorite group of actors, and they're like, "Can you do this movie with me?"
I do. I like that a lot. It's like what, JGL and Nolan, or I guess Jeremy Irons, right? No. What's his name?
The whole bunch actually. Yeah, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Yeah, Nolan has a few that he keeps on rotation.
Mm-hmm. Is it Ron Howard and Paul Bettany?
Is it?
I thought I remember reading. He brought him in for Solo.
Yeah, he did. What's another combo of theirs that they did?
Oh, putting me on the spot. Okay, Google. I don't have a place to find their overlap.
No. Yeah, it's going to be hard because you have to see the filmography of both.
Exactly. But yeah, I do like when directors kind of have a favorite. They're like, hey, I need you in here.
I mean, Mike Flanagan doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
That's your boy right now.
Yeah. New boy. New boy in town. But let's unpack this story, Caroline, because this is where it gets me the most. I guess I really am more of a... I guess I do prefer story-driven movies over character-driven. And I wanted a little bit more. I wanted a stronger objective. And I know there's a lot on the line. You know, the sister.
Her sister's life.
This is a very precious treasure that they found.
Mm-hmm.
But everything just feels like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like as grand as I wanted it to. Like they just have a map and it's like, all right, let's take a bus. Let's take a bus to this town. We'll just start looking for it.
How else would they do it?
Hey, let's stop and dance. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right, and then I'm gonna try to steal this map. Oh, drats! Somebody got me crawling under the table. Oh well. I don't know. Things are just happening, but not in a very exciting way to me. It's just like, all right, now meet me over here in 2 hours. Sure. Okay, just
that's not how
let's
the
get to the end.
end.
Let's get to the end now.
Not everything can have these major stakes. You can enjoy.
It's not just the stakes; it's just the way it happened for me. It's I didn't see the chemistry there between the two. It was cool when they fell off the waterfall. I was looking forward to that. But
I was looking forward to them falling and getting hurt.
I told you we were watching. I'm like, I hope they fall off the waterfall. That'd be cool. And they did.
Yeah, they did.
Caroline, I need you to help me here.
I think that your allergy medication muddled your brain a little bit.
All right, listeners, we saw this movie together, right? And I had allergies the whole day, so I figured, let me take some allergy medicine real quick. I don't want to be sniffling and sneezing the whole time watching this movie. And I thought I was out of allergy medication.
You even sounded like you had thick allergies. I could tell.
I went to the cabinet and I found it in the back of the cabinet.
Ooh.
Benadryl allergies. I'm like, oh.
Was it like a daytime Benadryl or was it like a Benadryl?
I don't know, but I was trying to look. I'm like, is this a drowsy one? And then I'm trying to look, and then
that would explain a lot.
It said, don't give to children for the purpose of putting them to sleep. I'm like, all right, well.
This is the drowsy one.
I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm going to be perfectly fine. And then, you know what? That is super drowsy medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I finished a pub sub, and
you were relaxed.
Every time I'm done eating, there's 100% chance I'm going to take a nap afterwards.
Yeah, I figured that's what I was getting to. You were relaxed. You were full. You're high on Benadryl. You wanted to take a nap.
No, but I was engaged. I promise you that I was engaged in the movie. I was trying to figure out who Stone was the whole time.
I don't doubt that. Just saying.
But I will admit, there's details that completely slipped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like things when I was like, wait, how do they know what she looks like? And you're like, it's on the book. Oh, dang, I should have known that. I was so ashamed. I'm like, oh, you're right. Because I was watching like clips today for the refresher. I'm like, there it is. It's like in the first scene, you see her carry her book, and there's a picture of her on the book.
Yep.
And then just the other things of what does she call them when they're trying to escape, and then like the little Juan's getaway or whatever.
Lupes Escape.
Oh, because Lupe is the Jeep or the truck. Who's Lupe?
It's just called Lupes Escape.
I should rewatch this awake now.
Yeah, you should. We can rewatch it now. Everybody sync up. Go to HBO Max. We're gonna get to 0, 0,
let's
0,
pause.
0.
I'll be right back after I watch
it. Lupe's Escape is just called Lupe's Escape. The Jeep is called the Little Mule.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I got.
I feel like this whole movie now is just going over your head. This is why you don't like it. You're missing all these things.
No, those are the details that I would happily admit that I missed, but I was paying attention to everything.
Yeah.
As best as I could with a half functioning brain.
I do not mean this offensively, nor do I intend, like, I don't intend this to be offensive. You talk
I feel like you're gonna say the most offensive. Here we go. Go ahead.
You make a lot of comments while we watch movies. And that's not a bad thing. But I'm just saying, a lot of the times you were making comments while the movie was giving us information.
Listen here, that's a sign of me paying attention, okay? If I was quiet, I was asleep. I'm breaking it down as I'm watching.
I'm not against this. I'm just saying, I'm not against
and
this.
Plus, we're watching it online. If we're going to watch it in dead silence,
no,
how fun is that?
Listen, I said I'm not.
You know what?
I enjoy it. It's fun to make jokes and to make snide remarks and stuff. That's fine.
Look, I think I got like 70% of this movie down, all right? And that 70% did not spark joy.
What? I don't think 70%. I think you missed like 65. That 5% is important.
So you're saying I only got 35% of the movie? You said I missed 65?
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. I think you only got 65.
Wow, you're not going to give me the 5%?
That's not a passing grade, mister.
It depends what school you go to.
Not in my house. It's not a passing grade in my house.
I promise I understood this movie. This is not like Uncharted. I have no idea what Uncharted is about. I fell asleep for sure during that.
You're like, I still don't know what it's about. I thought you were going to say, like, I played the game and I still don't know what it's about.
Yeah, it's so confusing. What's he doing? Climbing rocks? But this, I understood. There's not much to understand here. I just missed a few details, but I got the major picture.
Yeah, the plot is pretty simple. You didn't miss out, like, too much.
Yeah.
And plus, I was there, and you asked questions, which was good.
Oh, now you're trying to backtrack that.
No. I told you. It's not a bad thing. It's just you spoke over times the movie was giving us information. So that
not
could
every
also,
time. There wasn't a ton of information.
As to why you were missing a couple of details.
I don't think it would have changed my feelings.
Oh my god.
There's too much ground that it has to make up. All right.
Tony.
Yes.
What do you think this movie could have done to make you like it more?
I'm glad you asked. All right. So here's my reboot of this movie.
Okay.
We're going to cast Kevin Hart and
no,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Hold on. I'm not done.
No,
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Everybody, thank you for listening.
This is a reboot.
Episode 44.
I'm going to record a solo clip. I'm going to add it in when Caroline's not here. Okay, guys? I'm going to give you... You didn't even hear the best part yet.
Go ahead.
I'm calling it bromancing the stone. Kevin Hart is trying to find his love. Dwayne is a wingman for Kevin Hart. He goes to Colombia to find her. Along the way, he finds out that he was being catfished and his real bro was right beside him the whole time. So he's bromancing the stuff.
Bro, tell the whole world you're my bro.
Sounds like you're on board, Caroline.
Bro. Why'd you whisper it, bro? Because you are my whole world, bro.
You want to write the script?
This sounds terrible. But I would
I
watch
think
this
the
movie.
Zoomers will love it.
No.
They meet on TikTok.
I thought you were going to quote Back to the Future. You might not like it, but your kids are going to love it.
They're going to love it.
No, I immediately thought you were going to start talking about Jumanji. Oh my gosh.
No. Well, I did bring that up, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I was like, oh, this is like Jumanji, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Jumanji, not Jumanji.
Who directed Jumanji? I forget. I should know this, but I don't.
I don't know.
Jumanji. Joe Johnston.
Oh, okay.
Now it's got my boy James Horner. James Horner was supposed to do the music for "Romancing the Stone." He was the intended composer.
Not bad.
But instead they got Silvestri, which Horner, love you. Great. But Silvestri wrote the greatest composition of all time. Sorry, Horner. I just had to. I saw it and I thought, yeah,
all right,
I'll do a yay.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I saw on Rotten Tomatoes this movie was rated better by the critics.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that because this movie was received well
by the critics. Well, it's still a fresh score for the audience too.
Yeah. Oh, I was laughing so much. You got my glasses fogging up.
So you like the idea?
I'm still thinking of Bromancing the Stone. You threw me for a loop with that one. That was not on my 2022
I was going to build up to it, but I had to reel you back in. I'm like, hold on. I promise. It's going to be worth it.
I'm reeling from that still. I thought
I was going to get you on the TikTok because, your favorite platform.
It's not my favorite platform.
Second favorite platform.
It's not my second
Third favorite platform.
Okay, fine. You got me there.
I want to like it, Caroline. I really do.
I want you to like it.
I'm not here to sip haterade. I like water and only water. All right. So the purpose here is to turn a new leaf, to open my mind. And I'll give it credit. I'll give it credit where it's due. But I guess just the story was, could have been a little bit more exciting for me. That's it.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm glad we agree. Shake on it.
Are you shaking?
I am, yeah.
Me too.
I'm the guy who threw the pen earlier. I mean, I'm definitely shaking my hand right now. I picked it up, by the way, too, very quietly.
I heard a little rustle. It wasn't that quiet.
That was just my paper. I'm pretty sure I muted myself.
Being a Mondo Dismo.
All right. We wouldn't do this movie justice without going over the cool themes it had, right?
Right.
Joan being a writer, her living out her fantasies that she's always written about. That's really cool. I like that. I gotta mention too, I thought in the beginning you bamboozled me into watching another Western.
Yeah. I'm glad you remembered to bring that up because I forgot.
Like, here we go again. I was not mentally prepared.
I was laughing so hard I had to mute my mic when you were like, you wrote me into another Western?
You lassoed me into another Western? And I heard you yodeling in the background.
Yeah. And then
I looked at my watch. All right.
I only got an hour and 40 minutes of this.
Yeah.
And then it ends up bait and switching, and we're on the streets in New York. You're stomping
now you got
ground.
my attention.
It does a little bit of both.
Now we're talking.
It has the best of both worlds.
No, but that I did have to bring that up. I almost forgot it, but I do love how she's like so into her story. She's crying as she's typing up these stories.
She's such an inspiration to me. She's my favorite character in this whole movie, and I feel like
Danny DeVito.
I do love Danny DeVito. You know what though? Upon reflection, I think that is like a huge portion of why I like this movie is because like I want what she's going through. I love writing, and it's just kind of like that girl fantasy. I don't know, where especially if you're kind of the shy girl. And she goes on this like adventure. She finds love. It works out. It's got the happy ending, and they drive away on that boat. It's just, I feel like that's one of
That
the.
boat scene.
Uh-huh.
Found a little weird.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a budget thing or what, but wouldn't it make more sense if they met at a dock and they sailed off, but they're just driving with the boat being towed down the street? What's up with that?
Well, he went to go pick her up. He wanted to show her his boat.
I know, but couldn't they rewrite it so that he says, "Hey, meet me here. I got a surprise for you." Okay, and then they're at a dock and there's a boat and they get on the boat and sail away.
I think we can chalk this up to it being a chick flick thing where it's like more romantic, that he just goes straight to her with the boat. And
all right, we'll make it more romantic. He leaves letters and is like a clue, like
it's like a Dear John.
It's like I didn't get that reference.
Oh, that's a chick flick movie.
All right. Yeah, you write things and you lead her. You know, she goes to a bakery, then she goes to a park, and she's finding all these letters.
Is this a scavenger hunt? Like what?
Yeah, that's more romantic.
It's almost like
that's how you romantic home, baby.
No, it's almost like she's doing an escape room.
Oh my gosh. Are you still? You know what I mean? It's like those. I guess it is a scavenger hunt, but it's like a cool, fun, like
follow this trail.
Yeah, and then the final spot she goes is not that long. It's probably like 2 stops along the way. Bakery, park, and then dock. And then she goes to the dock, and then he's just like leaning. And then imagine he's just leaning on the boat, just waiting for her. Come on. And then he says like, "Took you long enough," and then she just smiles, and then wind in her hair, and then she just runs up to the boat.
They had to have that shot of him helping her up the ladder with those crocodile boots.
Close up on the crocodile boots.
Exactly. Hold on it for a good 5 seconds.
You can still do that shot with my rewrite.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely 100% you could.
Maybe.
Instead of leaning on the boat, he's on the boat. He goes, "Took you long enough." And then she runs up, and he's on the boat already. And then
she runs and he jumps on the boat.
Yeah. And then he stretches out his hand. And then you see his Crocs on the edge.
His crocodile boots, not Crocs.
I shortened it for brevity.
Then they're gonna think he's wearing Crocs.
They saw the movie. Who's listening to this while watching the movie?
I bet Josh is listening to this and he hasn't seen the movie in a while and doesn't remember all the details.
Josh, he's wearing Crocs.
He's Crocs dial boots.
A dial. I think I came up with a good rewrite right on the spot right here. You don't agree?
You know, it's not bad, but I don't think it's better than what we got.
Oh, please. Getting your boat towed away? Get out of here. All right.
I think it was just more romantic that she shows up and it's like, that's the boat that was in the picture that he always talked about.
The same thing can happen when she gets to the dock. It's like, that's the boat.
She's looking around and it's him. He comes out in that trench coat and suit combo.
And the same thing would have happened if they were at the dock and the boat was on the water and then they sailed off.
You know,
this way was so unrealistic. It's New York. They would have been like, "Hey, get out the way! I'm driving it."
I mean,
and then a lot of honking. No, they were parked for a long time. They were double parked. You don't do that in New York. You got a ticket.
Double parked is when you're parked in 2 spaces, right?
Double parked is when there's already a row of cars parked against the sidewalk, and then you park next to those cars. That's a double park, and you're not allowed to do that.
I didn't notice they were double parked.
They should have been at the dock with the Crocs, chilling at the dock with the Crocs,
with no to the bakery.
Yeah,
when she would have gone to bake. You think donuts would have added more to this scene?
She doesn't have to pick anything up from the bakery.
Well, then why go to the bakery?
It's just a spot. It could be the bodega. She could pick up a bacon, egg, and cheese, whatever, if she's hungry.
You always put that twang on bodega.
La bodega, whatever.
Put some emphasis on it, some respect on it.
But let me finish giving the credit. And then, okay. So she's so passionate about writing. She cries as she's typing her stories. She's living. What's it called? living vicariously through her characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she finally gets to go on her own adventure, right? That's really cool. And then the very last moment, I really wished, where's my pen? I really wish she nailed the guy right in the heart with that dagger, because it would have been just like her book. But it's okay. That one I'm not gonna rewrite. That was fine. That was fun.
It was really neat to see some of the things, like her living this adventure that she gets to go on her own now. How some of it is similar to her book, some of it is different. Where it's like, this isn't how I write. Like, this isn't like fiction. You know, she had to struggle, she had to fight. But I do love that at the end of the movie, her editor, her publisher, is sitting there crying about the book she wrote based on the events of what just happened.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Did you cry? First time?
Maybe.
So yes.
I think when that, it's like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's almost like a magical sound when she sees the boat and you start hearing, like, Silvestri he's picking it up.
He's on the sax. Yeah.
The sax hasn't started yet. He's vamping up the music. It's getting there. And when he comes out and he's wearing those crocodile boots and the way she smiles,
that's when you started crying?
I get a little emotional, I'm not gonna lie.
The crocodile boots got you.
It's not the Crocs. It's the emotion in the scene, Toby.
It's the emotion behind the Crocs, baby. That represents the adventure they went on.
She like gets the flowers and she's climbing up the ladder and he's there like, I came to see you. I couldn't stop thinking about you. I was like, oh, my heart.
Now imagine if they did that by a body of water.
Oh my gosh.
And not with a guy sitting
in
the
outside her apartment. He was waiting for her to come back.
He could have waited for her at the dock.
He didn't want her to seek him out. He went and sought her out.
That's seeking her out, and is actually more involved because he writes these beautiful letters. That's putting more thought into it.
I disagree. I'm
gonna write the third Romancing the Stone movie, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make you cry. You'll see.
You're gonna make me.
You know how I know? Because while I'm typing it, I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god! You're gonna be ending it with and Kevin Hart
calling. What took you so long, baby?
What took you so long, bro?
No, that's the reboot, Caroline. This is the third movie.
You're gonna be sniffling.
The reboot is with Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock.
Are the characters gonna be named Carl and Tony?
All right, why you gotta make it personal?
Yeah, you're gonna cry for this one. Have
we done this movie justice, Caroline? You tell me.
I think so. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I have written down about this movie, but it's good, everybody. I like it a lot.
I saw this movie. I was awake.
Were you? Fully?
Yes. I caught a second wind by the third act.
In a way, though, give it a little bit of credit, Tone. If it wasn't for this movie, you wouldn't have gotten your precious Back to the Future.
Yeah, of course. So you know what? I'll bump it up. 6.5.
There you go. That's good enough. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you're hearing us on your favorite podcasting platform and you're a new listener, give us a follow. Maybe hit that bell icon. If you're a returning listener, give us an honest review. If you're hearing us on YouTube, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications for new uploads.
Thanks for listening, guys. I really did see this movie.
Even though you were high on Benadryl.